What's going on, guys? Middi here, and today I've been experimenting with the Scar L, and I know it's a very hate or love weapon right now, and not many people actually use it in Warzone. I think it's the least used gun in Warzone. I barely see anyone who's actually got this on their custom loadout, but the setup I use works pretty well, and I've actually got a few wins with it. And if you guys are also new here and you're the 98% that isn't subscribed to me, then hit sub so you can keep up to date with new setups, weapons, and anything new that gets released within Modern Warfare and Warzone. So keep watching, and I'll be showing you later on in the video what setups I'm actually using for the gun. Now let's talk about the gun itself. It has exactly similar stats to the AK-47, but the Scar fires faster and does a little bit more damage. It was originally introduced when Warzone first came out as a common weapon that you could pick up within the game, and was pretty powerful, although because of its recoil, a lot of people didn't get on with the gun. A very love-hate relationship with it. If you couldn't handle the recoil, you wouldn't bother even using it. But I experimented with it in Warzone, and I found it does actually take people out pretty quickly. A lot faster than a gun like the Growl, and I always think Infinity Ward removes guns from war zones like the M13 or the Scar. They secretly buff them a little bit, but with my loadout on this gun, I'm able to knock people out extremely long distances, similar to what the Growl can hit people at without the sight, and I think it does fare up against other assault rifles within this game. The only issue with the gun is its ammo capacity. It starts off with a 20 round mag, which will deplete faster than you think. If you're pretty accurate, you can knock down a few people with it, but for Warzone, I always stick to try putting a 30 round mag on it, so I'm not reloading every 10 seconds while I'm in a team fight. I also use this with a grip. I don't suggest using it without a grip, but the grip helps maintain the vertical recoil. And if you guys didn't know, guns on Modern Warfare will have two types of recoil. You got vertical and horizontal, and the different grip attachments work better than others. For example, the Scar L's recoil moves upwards, therefore we're going to be using a grip like the Merc or the Operator 4 grip. Having one of these on will help massively with the recoil issues people have, and why a lot of people don't like the gun. Now I'm going to jump into my full loadout, and I'm going to be telling you exactly what I'm using for this bad boy. Alright guys, so starting off with the muzzle, we've got the monolithic suppressor on. As you guys know, the best suppressor to put on any weapon, gives it that damage range and sound suppression, what we need in Warzone to hit people long distances and not be seen on the map. Next, we're going to go for the barrel, and we're going to use the first barrel you get, which is Forged Tac 17.2 LB. Now, there are two types. You've got one that gives it even more control, completely your choice. If you want to have this gun have absolutely no recoil whatsoever, go for the 20. But I like having a bit more mobility with this gun, so it doesn't feel like I'm carrying around a sniper. So we're going for the 17. Next, for the stock, we're going to put the F-Tac stock on, which is going to give us movement speed, aim down sight speed. But it's going to reduce the recoil a little bit, but we want the movement speed and the aim down sight speed, because if we don't have this on, the aim down sight speed is going to be terrible. Next, we're going to put on the 25 round mag, or you can put on the 30. This is completely your choice. I mean, you're only going to lose a tiny bit more mobility if you put a 30 on, so I normally either go for 25 or 30. Depends how saucy you're feeling, you know. As for the last attachment, we're going to put onto it a Merc 4 grip. You can try a different 4 grip if you like, maybe the Operator 4 grip, but it gives it less stats on control, so I normally go for the Merc. Pretty easy setup really, isn't it? You don't see a lot of people rolling with this, and this is what I'm using currently within Warzone. You can of course put on a sight with this gun, but for some reason I just feel like a sight does not work well with this gun at all. Maybe if you put loads of attachments on to make the recoil non-existent, then yeah, maybe you could use a sight on it, but I went into a multiplayer game using a sight and I just couldn't get on with it at all. Like I said though, it's always a personal preference, but if you're someone who's also using the Growl and you're used to that iron sight, then you're going to get used to this sight very well, and you can knock people extremely long distances with this. So I ended up getting 2 wins with the Scar L. You got one at the start of the video and this one here. Obviously I'm using the AX right now, but we stood on top of Stadium for a bit and then we ended up jumping down and getting a win. So I'll let the rest of this video play out.
Alright, let's go. Oh, that's too far there. Yeah, there is, lots of people. Alright, I survived. I've got no armor. I'm gonna call in a cluster strike, will I? Planting Claymore. Alright, I'll just call it above our heads though. So. Oh, I don't know.
Mate, they're gonna put. They're here. Down one. Moving up.
I got no armor, mate. Wait for it. Where's the team?
What do you got self revive?
Down him.
Nice.
Go for the back here.
Another.
Killed him, he's dead. On me, right side. Self-revive. Keep shooting. Nice, fucking nice, Middi. Legend.
One's landed in.
I'm jumping out this direction. He's there.
I almost died.
Landed where he-
Back down. Has anyone got...
My body, mate.
Where's that?
One guy by yellow
Somewhere
house.
here.
Shit, look, fuck, you idiot, definitely. Fuck that.
That's the guy that got me.
Just shut that
You
way.
have enough. You should have enough money, boys, to buy us all in.
Still with
Get on my
another
body there, Kane. Yeah. That's my body, Kane. Grab the dough.
Need the
Grab the
plate.
stacks, boys. Wait, all my money's gone, so someone must have been on my body. And yeet it out there.
There is one more guy somewhere.
There's one by the house.
In here.
Yeah, what's he was going towards that direction.
He's there. Last side, Jake. He's down. One more.
His mate's probably camping in here, so careful. That kind of one here.
Is he in here or not?
Oh, mate.
That was like when I landed on drop.
Down one over there.
I was like, yeah, fuck that down. Yeah, one's down.
Double down, Kane.
Oh, see him, mate. Mark him. I'll see it. Yeah. Comes down.